do you want to see from coL that will allow Z-Freak to match Crit's impact? Because it's not that they don't have the players to be able to have a really high impact games like Crit does. Z-Freak is probably one of the best, if not the best, support player coming out of North America.
Bounty or Doom, I think, are particularly good on him. Or Enchantress. Yeah, Enchantress is a little bit more risky, especially when OG so commonly pick up the Crystal Maiden. I like the first phase pickup for them, for the Crystal Maiden, because it was likely going to be banned in the second, and Complexity immediately banned one of the heroes that they saw last game. Juggernaut, very good versus Lifestealer, very good against Enchantress as well, so kind of a no-brainer there for Complexity, but yeah, OG very smart in the draft, and they always seem to have an Earth Spirit or something better.
Crystal Maiden.
10 seconds remaining.
Once again. I don't know. You can rage out of Crystal. It's just like, I see. Sometimes I see like, I just don't like Crystal Maiden here in certain situations. It's really good.
It's to make them fight ready.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not for the Frostbite. It's like they are always fight ready, and they have such little downtime in between skirmish 1 and skirmish 2 that something is going to be off for Complexity. Combine that with like wands and the other sustain from their teammates, and like they just have a little bit more HP, a little bit more mana, like, you know, one more level on you, and with their level of execution, they almost always will beat you out in team fights.
Well, they've also got the counter to the Enchantress in hand, so our Ench is going to have a little bit more difficult time when it comes to roaming into wherever the Crystal Maiden is. We're going to see our second round of bans, Complexity. We're going to make sure that OG don't get the same kind of sustain that they did last time through Miracle's Juggernaut, as well as banning away the Faceless Void, while OG take out the Slardar, the great combination hero with Lifestealer. It seems like that is probably one of the better duos in this current patch.
Last patch, I would say. This patch, probably still pretty good, but not as good. And so they're trying to protect the Lifestealer with the Faceless Void ban.
And there goes the Alchemist. OG. Maybe thinking that was going to be a third pick for Complexity. Not really feeling it themselves. Lifestealer's pretty good versus Alchemist, right? So
is he?
I mean, once he starts getting armor,
not without
there are issues, but
Lifestealer does well against high HP heroes, not high regen heroes. So Alchemist has low HP, high regen, so he can't feast that well.
But Lifestealer is also a bursting hero, which is typically good against heroes that want to be able to draw things out with regen.
Yeah.
I think it's like the Lifestealer is good versus Alchemist in the first 20 minutes of the game, but then like Alchemist starts getting more armor and becomes harder and harder to pop, and then his sustain starts really taking over.
OG banned Alchemist, so it'd be Lifestealer and Alchemist on the same team.
Yeah. I'm saying OG, like, they wouldn't want it for themselves against Lifestealer.
Radiant team pick.
Well, so.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Disruptor, banned away, or picked up by Complexity. That was one of the better supports. This time around, they will have some heavy control. Still not a whole lot of hard stuns, but they will have some disables that stop the Earth Spirit and Crystal Maiden from falling out of control.
They have much better early game this game. Enchantress Disruptor is just completely different from the duo of the Wisp plus Oracle that we saw last game. Yeah. Both those heroes just kind of have to sit in lane, or you just cannot venture to the opposite side of the river because you can't do anything. And these two heroes are like way different in that aspect, especially Enchantress. Can pick up a smoke at level 1, pick up those newts, and ruin all the opponent's lanes. Especially when you have a self-sufficient core like Lifestealer.
Right.
So OG, they still need a solution to deal with Lifestealer. Something anti-BKB is especially good. Bane is a common pickup, but they already have both of their supports. Slardar is also a good pickup versus Lifestealer, but already been taken out. What other things are good? It seems Slark sometimes, but it seems too slow for OG's style of play.
The Disruptor's okay versus Slark, right? So
Complexities
that also
turn
might
to pick.
Inhibit that pick a bit. They're going to try and keep things as open as possible. They're going to go for the Bat Rider now.
Bat Rider is really good versus Enchantress on top of being good against Lifestealer. He's really good against Enchantress because Enchantress can't kite. Like, she needs to run around and fight so she can get maximum damage from impetus. But if you can't turn, you're not going to do that much damage with your impetus. So it doesn't really matter if she gets 2 farmed or not, because Enchantresses rarely get BKB.
Reserve time.
And it's also good because he's a very strong laner. You want a strong off laner versus Disruptor, because Disruptor is not particularly good at zoning out a solo off laner. And if you have an Enchantress, you're usually just going to be in a safe lane 2-on-1.
What about Invoker for OG?
I don't really think you can go wrong with Invoker on OG.
I feel like it's it's one of the better mids versus Lifestealer because all the kiting potential that you have. It's one of the last carry mids that's left for Miracle to take if they want him to be mid against what is now going to be a Death Prophet for Complexity. So they've got the frontliner. They don't have a saving support necessarily, but hopefully the Lifestealer and the natural disables of Disruptor will be able to create the space for the DP.
Turn to ban.
There you go. Some nice burst combo with the Bat Rider as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If they get if they go an XOR combo, the Earth Spirit, like his roaming potential, it's just amped up, right? Because he's now got the he rolls in on somebody, guarantees a Sunstrike.
So what about the no-tail hero?
5 seconds remaining.
Lycan, I think, is actually pretty good.
Lycan, and they could go Exort and have Forge Spirits, or maybe Quaswex is better here.
Radiant team ban.
Could they still run Drow Ranger too? Drow Ranger is also pretty decent.
Yeah, they could. That would definitely allow Invoker to win the matchup against Death Prophet, I think.
And their anti-push is actually really poor on Complexity.
10 seconds remaining.
Because they're liking that hero that can hit towers. Last game it was Alchemist and Jug.
Remaining.
I think you needed a Blink hero, right, for Complexity.
Reserve time.
I'm going to go back to the Tidehunter. Didn't get picked up last time.
Tidehunter I think is really good for Serlino. I think it's...
Oh, Terrorblade. Another Terrorblade it is. And it gives them... It's kind of like a Lycan, right? Except for I think it's a bit better at threatening Lifestealer and Death Prophet because the physical damage is so overwhelming that those heroes can get popped rather quickly. The Sunder is very applicable to both these heroes as well. I really like this pickup a lot from OG. And now I think...
They have no save for him, though. I think that's...
Undying Enchantress, aggro tool.
Nothing's wrong with Undying. I think Undying's kind of underpicked. And yeah, teams don't pick him a lot, but versus like Terrorblade, 1 decay, he's at like 400 HP at level 1. And you can just like hit him with 1 impetus and he could die. But
1 impetus at level 1.
Potentially, maybe.
That's a really bad game for no-tail if Enchantress is level 6 and he's still level 1. Well, we'll see how this is going to work for him. Swindles is actually going to be the one playing the Enchantress, so it's a core Enchantress with Z-Freak backing him up in the bottom lane. They still have to deal with the Crystal Main taking away the creep, but they could definitely put pressure on the Terrorblade.
5 seconds.
Undying got buffed too.
Who?
Undying.
What did he get buffed?
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he got buffed a little bit. I can double check.
All right. To Google. All right, our typical early TPs out.
Okay, I got it. Intelligence gain increased from 2.5 to 2.8.
Yeah.
Decay cast range increased from 625 to 650. Decay duration increased from 40 to 45.
Yeah.
That's 3 buffs.
I like that cast range increase.
I like the int change. I don't have to go Arcanes every game on him. Although it's probably still not that bad. But that combined with like the base mana buff, which came out after we saw Undying a lot.
True.
Could be a thing. But Undying, oh, look at his set.
Yeah.
The Dirgeful Overlord. Well, his name is Dirge the Undying. It's kind of redundant.
It is.
I am Dirge the Dirgeful Overlord.
I believe in Dota 2, he's not called Dirge, is he? I think that's just Dota 1.
30
Speaking of Dota 1.
But you don't see like many Dota 1 names in their items.
Yeah.
this spear.
It's a throwback.
I don't even know how you say her name. Ayusa or something? It's like A-I-U, I don't know. You know her Dota 1 name?
No.
Enchantress?
Absolutely not.
It's very difficult to pronounce. But anyways.
I avoided all micro heroes in Dota 1.
Oh.
The battle.
I was not a Warcraft 3 player, if you can't tell.
You can just right-click with impetus. You don't need a micro creep.
When I played Warcraft 3, I'd cheese people with like org tower rushing and stuff. You know, I didn't play real Warcraft 3, so microwave wasn't my game.
So 500 HP on Terrorblade. Subtract some 4 strength. You are sitting at
420.
420.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
They changed the strength. I was like 19 or 20. 420. One impetus.
One impetus.
One impetus.
All right, we'll see how much the supports are going to be able to do here to stop this aggression from complexity. It looks like NoTail's idea is go for a very early metamorphosis, and that's probably the right idea considering how much complexity. Want to right-click him while he's still level 1. Plus, it'll give a little bit of time for Earth Spirit to get like his level 2, which is kind of needed. Meanwhile, at the top lane, we do have the Bat Rider matched up against a Disruptor and Lifestealer. This is not going to be the easiest lane in the world. Back over the bottom, Z-Freak is going to be in some serious trouble. Almost going to be taken out here. The Sunstrike going to come in. Is not going to land. Z-Freak almost going down. Just 10 HP is all that's left. But he does manage to survive and will shamble his way off to the fountain. Crit's going to take a lot of return damage, and Swindle's will get the free space.
340. Oh, man.
This is just value for the Tangos, Ben.
Z-Freak, decay stack's wearing off, but you know he's not the worst hero to go back and heal. Ideally, you dump your mana before you go, but
yeah,
you know you gotta go heal when you gotta go heal. And crit.
The philosophy of life, top lane. They're gonna start going on to Moon. They get lead with the open wounds, get a lot of damage from the Thunderstrike as well. It's not going to be enough though. Finish him off. Moon does seem to be doing pretty well in this lane.
Yeah, this is a really good lane for him.
What have we here?
Thought maybe like level 3 or level 4 they might have kill potential with the lockdown of Hanskin plus the Rage, but Moon is punishing them here at level 1, but he may just have gone a bit too far. They pop the Rage, trying to finish him off, but Miracle's actually going to get the first blood at bottom lane. Looks like they're fighting that one out. They managed to get the Death Prophet roll in from the Earth Spirit on mid while we were trying to follow that top lane.
That's fun. Dealing with Earth Spirit roam. Yep.
Yeah.
Still, Invoker is out of mana, so not any kill threat coming out from him. Z-Freak not doing the best job of pressuring NoTail because he is sitting at the top of the CS board at 14 whopping CS.
Metamorphosis is about to come back up.
Well, that won't matter if he doesn't have any HP.
Well, the damage reduction is definitely getting a lot of work out here. That poor man shield. Yeah, I mean, there's like the downside of the Enchantress, right? You're running an Enchantress off lane, but you don't have a creep that you can use.
If they had more magic person in this lane, it'd be sick.
It
like
really would.
A Timbersaw. Like one Whirling Death could take him down a lot, and also impair his last standing abilities. But yeah, right now, Swindle's just kind of like tickles.
Oh, Lip, you're too far forward. He's going to get caught again. Get kicked back into the tier 1. He has the double Spirit Siphon, but that's just not going to be enough to out-heal. As OG picks up yet another kill. The Earth Spirit free to roam into mid constantly since the bottom lane is just not being able to put enough pressure on this Terrorblade.
They need more levels on Z-Freak so he can pump out more decays.
Moon going to be gone on once again. This time he is dead. I will watch you die, Moon Meander, for making me miss first blood earlier.
Swindle's getting a lot of CS in this bottom lane. And he actually goes for the row with a Magi first to hurt NoTail a little bit more with his spears. He is throwing spears like constantly at him, and NoTail still has a salve and a tango.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a poor-man shield, man. He's getting the workout. Haster, Miracle, get some damage on the limb. Nothing major will come of this. Roll in. Nice sidestep there from Z-Freak. Now Crit is actually pretty far forward. We'll be able to get the kick back through Z-Freak. He does have the decay, also the heal, but that's not going to allow him to survive long enough. If he gets hit by the Frostbite, his escape is being covered. Crit trying to go for the body blocks, allowing more space for NoTail to get those right clicks to finish him off.
Yeah, this lane's a disaster.
It certainly is. Complexity's laning phase not going nearly as well as it did in game number 1.
Maybe Undying needs a few more buffs.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe don't run Undying Enchantress. Against a lane that can stop you.
Maybe what they should have done is put the Enchantress in the jungle to get more levels, but a lot of that was countered by the first phase Crystal Maiden, because then Enchantress can't really jungle. If you get her in the jungle early and Undying can get level 3, I think they could do a lot more damage in this lane, but they're just sharing XP, and Undying finally hit level 3, but now Terrorblade already has a few kills under his belt and a lot of CS, and it's just not as effective.
Oh, they're going to try and go for the... He's got a lot of levels of Soul Rip. NoTail, you got to be careful, homie. Oh, Jesus. The healing salve is going to be able to keep him alive. They're now going to turn and try and fight Crit instead. Can't get the block, though. Crit manages to bolt his way through the trees to safety. And while Complexity do try and take some control of this lane, they didn't get the kill they really wanted. NoTail going back underneath this tier 1, not really caring. Z-Freak with no levels of Tombstone since he went for the max magic damage. Onskin will be able to get the glimpse back. Nice pick. They finally get a kill here in this bottom lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A lot of commitment.
Limp, you're not going to be able to challenge for that that rune, Miracle. Look at the illusion. Onskin trying to save the bounty rune at bottom, so we have the refill on the bottle. Z-Freak, you do not have boots yet. He's slowed down by the reflection, kicked back once again by Crit. He will be able to get the double soul rip. They also have on the side, they're going to be able to catch Moon here with the exorcism. Z-Freak barely able to survive. And they now turn to cutting behind the tier 1 tower. They're going to get Fly. Unless OG start massive rotating, there's no way. Miracle's not going to rotate through. NoTail hiding himself in the trees. Onskin almost dying to this tower, almost gets kicked, but he managed to stay ahead of that one, and Crit rolls right through all of these heroes. NoTail, he's going to fight this one out. The Sunstrike almost lands on Onskin, but it doesn't even matter. They don't need it. Complexity dive in the tier 1 tower needlessly, searching for kills and staying way too long.
And as you mentioned, Death Prophet really struggling in the armor department. Terrorblade, 150 damage. That low armor Death Prophet, and combine that with the surprise Sunstrike from Invoker, and now OG are in a firm position in this early game after applying that push.
Oh, okay, died again. Sunstrike. Just in time.
When are they going to abandon this bottom lane? They keep seeming to throw bodies at that because they really wanted to slow down NoTail's farm, but it's just not happening.
Certainly not. Moon showing himself in mid, going through the creep wave, giving the space for Miracle to be able to take the tier 1 without threat of deny. Crit is going to try and come in and punish Limp for trying to go for the deny, and they've got him too. They managed to get the soul rip buff, and that heals him a little bit, but it's just not enough. Moon, unfortunately, his Firefly doesn't last long enough for him to get out of the trees. Chessie will get the turnaround kill, but it's still to OG's favor overall.
Still spent his gold, and Miracle well on his way to a very early Midas. Lifestealer not been able to get involved in too many of these fights like Complexity needs him to, especially with Undying falling off so quickly with no boots. Z-Freak need that boost man.
NoTail is now level 7, even though he doesn't have it. Complexity now got to start thinking about the threat of the Sunder. And unless they have Static Storm, they don't really have anything to stop him from getting that off. Not enough hard disables. Because they have the Death Prophet Silence eventually as well. But overall, game number 1, it was nice for Complexity because the laning phase was well set up for them to win, and they still ended up losing that game by... They lost control by like 20 minutes, you could say. Here, in this game number 2, where Complexity have lost the laning phase, you really got to wonder if they're going to be able to pull it back at all.
They do have Death Prophet, who is surprisingly strong in team fights. They do have the Undying heal and Tombstone to protect her in team fights. So there is still that potential where Exorcism can just crush 3 or 4 heroes, especially if she builds a little bit more armor since she's tanky. Or HP, either or. I still like the Veil build. I don't know why that fell out of favor so quickly.
Yeah. I think especially against all this physical damage being run around by OG. Miracle's just doing the efficient route of sitting on top of the Ancients while his team pushes out the top lane and trades tier 1 for tier 1.
So Complexity can actually do Roche very early. It would be very slow if they don't use Exorcism, but they could definitely do it with level 4 Untouchable. No minus armor on the Life Stealer, no Blightstone on him, no Medallion coming out, so that would be a very long Roche.
I think they need it, though. I think they should use the Exorcism.
I don't think they're in that desperate of a position yet.
You don't think so? I'm kind of feeling it right now.
If they fight in the pit...
They're 3K behind already.
If they fight in the pit and they get magnetized, they will all die. And you have to deal with Napalm and just Bat Rider in that general area is just not a good idea. Like, that's just almost a guaranteed loss if you lose that fight, as opposed to, hey, we can fight with Exorcism, with Static Storm once we get our tomes up, and maybe this is the start.
But see, I'm just not convinced that they should go for the 5-man fight, because they don't have level 6 on Disruptor yet. But they do get the glimpse, and a pick off on Moon will give them the opening, that's for sure. Throws out the lasso, because why the hell not, but he is going to die ultimately, and now Complexity can go for the tier 1.
Yeah, don't underestimate Complexity's team fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get a pick off like that, it's a real easy tier 1 with the Exorcism.
Arcane Rune is good. On Death Prophet especially.
Oh, nice.
Are they even going to get this tower? Moon's already respawning. Jeez, he's only level 6. What happened? He's 0 and 4.
Yeah, he was supposed to have such a great time at that top lane.
Radiant's middle
he
tower
was.
is under attack.
And then
Dire's
he started
top
feeding.
tower is under attack.
Started meandering him out.
Radiant's middle
in the wrong
tower
place.
has fallen.
All the wrong places. Well, they do get the tier 1 after all. OG not trying to challenge them for it. Instead, no tail. Trying to go for the tier 2 at top lane, and he's almost got it too. He's got Dragonlance already as well. 3-man smoke.
Dire's
They desperately need to pick off just to be able to get Moon some gold so we can start working towards that Blink Dagger. They'll get some gold off of this tier 2 though. No tail's still able to take it.
And nice line drawn from Hanskin. He knows exactly where they're going to go, and Z-Freak still is going to die at the end of the day. He does manage to buy his creds right before he dies.
What was he doing? He wasn't going to stop Terrorblade from pushing that.
He's just desperate because he doesn't have a place to go.
Aren't we all a little desperate, Ben?
Not as desperate as Z-Freak in this situation.
That is definitely true. You know, I tried to give Z-Freak a compliment at the start of this cast. Probably very much over-exaggerated that compliment, and look the way he's treating me now.
It happens.
Not getting his laning phase well.
They did pick him Undying. So if he played if he played decently, you'd be like, wow, Z-Freak's really good. But because like this, you're just like, it's just Undying.
Just Undying things, really.
Miracle going for the BOT's build. And looking to avoid the team fight. Maybe even buying more time for Bat Rider to maybe get his Blink Dagger. Just needs 500 more gold. And overall, OG, they are in a really good position because they don't have to force team fights against Complexity.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the classic pushing carry with Invoker, right? Anytime you have that, you're going to try and pick up Boots of Travel. You can have the pushing carry on one side, the Invoker on the other, and split push to your heart's content.
While getting pickoffs with Sunstrike.
Yeah. Because, yeah, that's the thing about it, right? Is that spreading out the heroes so much and split pushing does force Complexity to move apart. Opportunities like this present themselves. Moon turns around, still has lasso. He's waiting and waiting and waiting until the rage kind of wears itself out. Chessie now making a break for the Infest on the creep. He'll be able to get inside a range creep. Still going to be trying to chase down. Looks like they're having a bot lane fight. We're going to follow by Chessie, as he's going to be slowed down by the refraction. A rage, TP out, but oh, the Metamorphosis is up for No Tail, and he just creams him. Meanwhile, bottom lane, what the hell happened here? It's a bloodbath.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Limp picked up Miracle. The Disruptor killed our Spirit. Well, I was watching top. I was hoping for the Sif armlet toggle coming out from him while he was TPing. Did not happen.
Well, either way, they've got the tier 2 in hand, it seems.
I don't know, Exorcism almost down.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Not going to be good enough.
Still, it's a big kill onto Invoker. And looks like Moon will finally get the space that he needs from his Blink Dagger. If he's going Blink. At this point, I'm pretty sure he's getting Blink because he hasn't bought any components of the drums aside from the wind.
Where are you going?
14-minute Blink Dagger. It's not the latest in the world. Not the
Not
earliest
so
either.
bad. Do they have enough burst to kill DP? Yes, they do. Unless Disruptor gets a good ultimate. Oh, he picked up a lot of levels off that. And yep, Tombstone into the Ancients. This Tombstone is not going to last long enough, or is it?
It's taken them so long to farm this, but it is very safe farm.
That's true.
As OG are going to try and cut across with their smoke. They do have the successful scan, so they know some of these heroes are here. The Tombstone's going to wear out, and many of these heroes are quite low, so this can actually turn really nasty. There's no infest now. They jump in, manage to get the lasso, fly, hoping to be able to get a good freezing field. He's blocked out by the static storm for a little bit, now drops it, but it's a bit too late. Chessie now pops the rage, and they finish off Moon. Our turnaround kill at the bare minimum. In fact, it's not just going to be one, it looks like almost two. Fly slowed down by the Spirit Siphon. Unable to get a glimpse on him, though. Hanskin loses vision, and it seems like the team will be able to get out.
That was a really quick static storm coming out from Hanskin right there that definitely saved the fight. Yeah. And not the greatest coordination on the lasso and the Sunstrike. And at the end of the day, they only killed the Undying with that blink reveal. Not good. Not good at all.
Look who else has got a Blink Dagger, though. Crit. The real third core. He's going to see what he can do now in these fights with Blink in and Magnetize. Meanwhile, Miracle or No Tail are just doing their split pushing things.
Yeah, they're still taking pretty heavy casualties around the map, especially on the Invoker on the bottom lane. That was one of the bigger kills that's happened in this game. However, Limp is falling very far behind, Chessie is falling pretty far behind even with the help of from the Ancients. And now heading to Roche, they do have Exorcism up, and it's going to be really slow if they don't use it, so I think they have to.
Yeah, just because otherwise there's going to be too much given to the top lane. Well, I guess Miracle's not actually going to be pushing it right now. He's playing it a little bit more conservatively. So Complexity, slow Roshan attempts may pay out.
I don't know. They're sending in the illusions right now. It will scatter them out. It's at about 30%. And OG are quick to get over there. They do have a smoke on Crystal Maiden. Is it time?
All right, well, Lim pops the regen. He's gonna pop this Exorcism as soon as he's got the mana for it. He knows they are desperate for time as Crit's gonna jump in looking for the Magnetize opportunity. He's gonna be able to get eaten up almost immediately by Chessie, but Limp is being targeted on by No Tail so damn quickly they can't do anything about it. The static storm goes out, but Chessie, the damage is already done. He's up on the cliff and they can't bring him back down. He's got the infest. Oh, terribly stashed it! He got the Aegis. Seafreak couldn't stop that one. Someone give this man a lift. Chessie needs an infest out, but can't actually reach anybody, so he's just a sitting duck. Manages to finally get the infest inside. Z-Freak will be able to get himself away. Meanwhile, Swindle starts taking up No Tail. Actually, oh god, not enough.
Okay, and Miracle.
Sunstrike, oh, not enough, but he gets slow. Rage, Chessie will be able to armor the toggle. Meanwhile, Miracle's doing miracle things. Top lane, he's already taken a tier 3, and these heroes are going to be low enough they can't actually fight yet. Miracle's just going to take a lane of Rex. Maybe, we'll see. DP in for the Death Prophet. Miracle will have to back himself away now. But almost 500 HP.
By No Tail, taking the Roshan kill and stealing the Aegis. There was a lot of units inside the pit. There were like 20 zombies, I want to say, just all stacked up around, and still managing to get the last hit and click on the Aegis through that is quite miraculous. Nice lasso by Batrider. Nice infest by the Lifestealer to pop himself out there. A neat little trick.
That wasn't the glimpse.
Complexity can't be happy with that fight at all.
No, certainly not. If only they'd blown Exorcism. Now Limp's gonna be caught out. He's actually very, very dead. Even if Limp somehow managed to get some distance, the Miracle just picked up a Yule Scepter, so he still had the Yule Scepter and Sunstrike combo.
Yeah, but that's a hefty amount of damage, especially with that drums charge being used in Complexity. Yeah, now their early game didn't go well, even with an Undying. They've lost a couple of team fights even with a Death Prophet. I don't want to say all in for a Roche, but they committed pretty heavily to that, and looks like Z-Freak takes some mid lane. That's a dead zombie.
Dire's bottom tower is
Isn't that competitive? No tail. Needs to be able to get off a good sender here, but nice play from Chessie with the Infest to dodge the Sunder and get the additional burst damage. Now they're going to be able to pull back Moon, managing to get the Static Storm on top of him. Wow. 2 kills.
That was sick from Chessie.
Yeah, can they get a third one? They're chasing. They have to be careful. Miracle's going to push out the bottom lane. Trying to catch up to Fly here. They've almost got the glimpse in hand. Nice double kick. These heroes now have to stay outside of vision of Hanskin. Will be able to get a little bit. Crit managed to get the silence. Hoping to be able to get the roll away outside of the range of glimpse. And not quite there. Pulled back in. Taken out by Complexity. Miracle's now here, though. They got to be careful with him. Hanskin, he's definitely dead. Can they fight Miracle, though? Miracle gets off the invis. They've got the counter ward laid down. They've almost got the vision. They do. Just enough. And Complexity turning this game around pretty quickly. They've got the rage. Can he eat through Fly? Not fast enough.
Nice entry placement.
TP himself away.
Right before the death. That was really important by Disruptor.
Yeah. Good call by Hanskin.
And all that started with a great infest coming out from Chessie.
Yeah.
Moon just has not had that big of an impact on Batrider in this game. He's just feeding a lot.
Well, the Scotty's now complete. Even though it feels like very similar to game number 1, where Complexity are doing some okay things in team fights, and you're like, oh, look, they just won this little fight, but it's just like time is against them. And this game, as it goes later and later, I mean, No Tail has a Scotty by 21 minutes.
I don't think
the Invoker is level 16.
That bad for them. Enchantress is surprisingly farmed. She can also steal Terrorblade's illusions, and he doesn't have a Manta style, so he can't have that many illusions up. Undying, I think, is the biggest problem here, in that he's just kind of useless at this point.
I mean, isn't both Terrorblade and Invoker higher impact mid to late game than Lifestealer or Death Prophet?
Yeah, but Death Prophet's better at team fights, and if they get the right burst, which they have a lot of, then they can drop No Tail like we just saw.
Where are you going?
Looking for its initiation. Chessie already down to half HP, pops the rage, tries to man fight up against No Tail, will be able to get a soul rip, heal pops out, will be able to get the silence on No Tail, so no Sunder once again. Complexity, Spirit Siphon onto 2, slowing them down. Fly goes for the freezing field, not going to be good enough to get a turnaround kill. Moon is trying to slow down these heroes with his sticky napalm, but he's got to be careful to get the hell out of here, because there is nothing they can do.
He really needed the Manta over the
double kick. They know the Lifestealer is in here, so they're going to try and abuse Complexity, but Limp leads with the Yule Scepter, will be able to follow up. Tornado is the free escape from Miracle as he runs himself away.
Yeah, he really needed the Manta over the Scotty there, because he just sat and could not pull on the Scepter. And that is a really big deal in a team fight, especially when you could have used it on a high priority hero like the Lifestealer in that fight. Oh, well, he was kind of low, so maybe not.
Radiant's top tower.
Maybe kick onto Limb, silence, Sunstrike, popped him. Ooh, that was nasty.
Nasty indeed. Yeah, Miracle's getting just ridiculous amounts of farm.
He's just too much to handle.
I just don't see Complexity being able to get that many good picks, though. The last really good engagement for them was just chain feed. First, the No Tail death, and then another glimpse, and then Invoker trying to finish someone off. It was just like an unfortunate series of events for OG, where it could have easily gone like he gets a Sunder off, and then Complexity have to all turn tail and run. So if fights just go pretty decently for OG, they should be able to win it with their massive farm advantage and their massive split push advantage with the Invoker with the BOTs.
Chessie is many, he's actually hasn't gotten that many kills. 1 kill, 11 assists. So he seems to be a bit unlucky when it comes to claiming the last hit. Maybe that's why his farm is rather slowed down compared to the farm of the 2 OG cores.
He has the front line for left.
Yeah.
Which is much different than the way OG's lineup works. And frontline for Swindles at this point, who is dishing out a lot of damage with that Dragonlance plus Ags, and maybe soon enough like a Moonshot or whatever he may.
Yeah, if he gets level 3 Infinites and gets some attack speed on him, that is a glass cannon that might be able to threaten the Terrorblade pretty well.
Yeah, Terrorblade doesn't have the greatest attack speed. Actually, with this one, should have.
Smoke up, they're gonna grab Chessie. No rage here, so Chessie in some serious trouble. They managed to get the Static Storm. Chessie still silenced off though. Not gonna be able to do anything there. NoTail fighting up a limb. Tried to get the Sunder off as the Static Storm faded, but no chance. Big long shot, but it's not enough. The cap is there, and Crit will be able to escape, it seems. The Zombie's trying to chase him down, but 1-for-1 exchange. Considering the fact that OG were the ones who made the initiation there, that's not too bad for Complexity. Just they blew the exorcism, which kind of sucks.
Well, they can't control the death problem in these fights. They have to use a lot to control the Lifestealer. And at the same time, they are constantly getting kills in Terrorblade. I guess he just might need BKB at this point. Screw the Manta. Just not getting any Sunders off in these fights and just can't dish out enough damage. Maybe a Glimmer Cape would really help on the side of OG, but I haven't really seen it put to good use.
Onskin running for help, but Z-Free can't save him. Sorry, my friend. Nothing I can do here. And maybe another pick off Miracle. He's setting up his abilities to go for Tornado and Meteor if he wants to. Tornado. This is on Z-Freak. They do have backup though, very rapidly. Both Limp and Chessie are gonna be here. They get the Sun Silence, but that's not gonna be enough. Miracle, there's now no interrupt to be able to save him here. As long as they have the counter vision, they've got him dead to rights. Complexity go for more. Fly gonna go for the Glimmer Cape. TP out, will be successful. Moongander, nothing to be done here.
Very careless play by OG.
Oh
the past
no.
few minutes.
They're gonna look for Roshan, but it's not up, and it's about to be. They just sit inside the pit, it's all good. Maybe they get Moon. Moon has to blink himself out of this one, to the side, to the way, it's good. And Roshan is now out.
Yeah, no creep from Swindles to scout that one out. Surprised he hasn't thrown one in there yet. Fly peeks it out immediately, knowing that it is a threat, and without Sunstrike there, they have to send a Terrorblade Illusion to scout it out immediately. However, Hanskin, is he going to throw a kinetic field inside of there? Does not look like it.
Do it, Hanskin, no.
Yeah, they're missing out. And Limp, with his Exorcism, finally cooled down, but he will see a Terrorblade Illusion, and man, that might be enough to dissuade him from taking it.
Got Exorcism in 10 seconds. Do you think they could have YOLO'd it real quickly?
That is pretty YOLO. Again, they're fighting in there without BKBs. Earth Spirit wrecked them last time. What's the stop? The same thing again.
And I guess the Invoker, it wouldn't take him very long to get there thanks to Boots of Travel and max movement speed.
And Miracle trying to draw them away from the pit with some pressure on the top lane. Waiting for his VOTs to cool down. Complexity do have pretty good fight around the pick, but it takes longer for them to set up. You need to dish out damage with the Exorcism. You need time to dish out the zombies from dying on the high ground.
Somebody held the top lane. That range tracks dropped pretty quickly against Forge Spirits with Alacrity on them. Complexity need to take better care of that top lane maintenance.
What is NoTail spent his gold on? He bought some.
Sure, but Swindles is dead. At least I think so. Maybe not. Chessie actually managed to get the open wounds on Moon. Now he's in trouble. Pops Ghost Scepter, but will still be glimpsed back. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the cliff. That actually allows him to be able to continue his escape.
Damage.
Oh dear. They're gonna go back to top lane, but of course Miracle, he's just showing, and he will be able to Wex his way out of there.
He did reveal the ward though with that. That was, I don't know, a dubious flame break.
But if he created enough space for NoTail to take Roshan before Complexity can rotate over, it's all worth it.
Yep, they're all heading there as fast as they can with smoke.
They got double damage.
Yep, it's already at half HP. And Alacrity on top of that. Look at his damage. Oh my goodness. About that.
Smoke up. Oh no, Chessie, look out! He starts going for the wrong one. They get the Static Storm. He managed to get him the infest. Not staying alive though, and NoTail manning up through all of it. He still has the Aegis, gets off the Sunder as well. This fight is over for Complexity. They're still gonna try and fight it out with that ultimate of Limps, but it's not gonna be good enough. Freezing Field finishes them off as now NoTail comes back with his second life. They start slowing down the last hero. Z-Freak will not be able to TP out. Yes, Scepter and Flame Break both ready to stop that attempt at an escape, and Complexity lose 4 for an Aegis.
How many times have we seen DD at Roche, just like at the perfect time? It seems far too common. It's crazy.
It really is. Now, OG from that double damage get Roshan fast enough that Roshan leads to them winning a fight, and that fight now leads to them taking a lane of Rax. Maybe even two with the way they're ripping these buildings. Hotel, yeah, he's already setting up for two.
With no exorcism, Complexity just really do not have that much fight left in them. Their spirit's probably broken after terribly got that Sunder off at that last fight.
Just the illusions pushing in. OG back up. They're going to play it safe. Got the Lincolns ready to go for the Invokers. Now he doesn't even care all that much about getting caught out by the Glimpse. That's like the only single target ability worth mentioning, right? Yule Scepter, I guess, from Limp.
Open wounds?
Open wounds, yeah, I guess.
Yule's, I think, is actually kind of big. So they can stop his Blink Dagger.
Okay. Moon. Doing typical never ever things. Force staffs himself into the enemy, blinks back. Show confidence from the OG offlaner. Chessie managed to get the open wounds on Miracle, but he similarly is able to stay out of the hands of Complexity with the Blink Dagger.
Are under attack.
Yeah, I think the Lincoln's pickup is like for the Yule setup. If they Yules him, he can't blink out, which is a really big deal because he needs to be able to keep distance away from the Death Prophet and the Life Stealer.
Yeah.
So decent. Force Staff would also be pretty good, but they do not have one on their team yet, aside from Bat Rider.
They really need like diffuse a blade on Chessie or something. He's having a
I
hard
don't
time.
know. He's having a hard time staying alive.
Yeah, I guess.
Last time was with the DD, but even without the DD, I still think he's going to get trucked.
Swindles, glass cannon, gonna get shattered here. OG drop lasso and Fly drops to the ground with freezing fields.
Let it ride, Fly. Let it ride.
Now it's going to be left up to the initiation. Limp's going to come in through the side here, but they're just going to be able to burst him down against the Yule Scepter to dodge that meteor incoming while Chessie battling it out with No Tail, managed to get off the Sunder, and No Tail, he gets on the reflection last second, will be able to finish him off. Oh my god, he lived! 3 heroes, none of them could finish him off. He gets away, and Complexity now done with this series.
The big bad Terrorblade strikes again. He's been winning a lot of games today. Valiant effort by Complexity. It's kind of outclassed by OG, sadly, in this matchup. I think their draft this game was a little bit better. Even despite the Undying, which people probably consider like bottom 20% of Dota heroes. But yeah.
All right, well, that is our last game of the day.